Hey everyone, and welcome to a brand new explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into this totally fascinating intersection of science and philosophy, straight from the HeroesMart 8th grade curriculum. We're going to start right here on our tiny, beautiful blue planet, and then we're going to zoom all the way out to the absolute edge of reality itself. We are looking at the infinite scale, galaxies, and the universal order. So grab a seat and get ready, because the sheer scale of what we're analyzing today is literally mind-blowing. Here is our flight plan for today's cosmic journey. We'll start with the vast expanding universe, then look at measuring with light years, move on from galaxies to superclusters, zoom back into our local cosmic neighborhood, and finally wrap up with education, morality, and peace. All right, section 1, the vast expanding universe. What exactly is the universe, and what is it doing? So when we look up at the night sky and try to imagine the absolute totality of existence, what exactly are we looking at? Well, by definition, the universe is everything that exists. That includes all space, time, matter, and energy. It's really important to remember that the universe isn't just a giant empty box with a bunch of stuff floating around inside of it. No, the universe actually is the box. It's the space itself. It's the time itself. Every single atom, every ray of light, every ounce of energy, the whole shebang, that is the universe. Now, the curriculum uses this staggering physical scale to build a real sense of awe, and it connects it directly to the theological grounding found in Psalm 147, verse 5, which says, "Great is our Lord and mighty in power. His understanding has no limit." The source points out that looking at this limitless scale of space serves as a really powerful reminder of an infinite creator. It basically frames all this scientific vastness as a tool to build humility and give us some perspective about our own unique world. Okay, so what is this massive universe actually doing right now? Well, it is constantly expanding. And that means galaxies are actively moving farther and farther apart from one another. You can kind of think of it like taking a deflated balloon and drawing a bunch of little dots on it with a Sharpie. As you blow air into that balloon and it expands, the rubber stretches, right? And every single dot moves further away from every other dot. That is exactly what space is doing right this second. The actual fabric of the universe is stretching, and it's carrying all the galaxies along with it. Moving on to section 2, measuring with light years. How in the world do we measure the unimaginable? This expanding universe brings up a massive, literal massive problem. If the universe is this incredibly huge and it literally never stops growing, how do scientists measure it? You obviously can't use regular miles, or you'd just be writing zeros on a chalkboard for the rest of your life. We need a completely different kind of ruler, and the solution is the light year. A light year is simply the distance that light travels in one Earth year. Now remember, light is the fastest thing in the universe. It zips through space at an absolutely astonishing 186,000 miles per second. So if you let a beam of light travel at that unbelievable speed for 365 whole days, how far does it go?
6 trillion miles. That is just one single light year. Seriously, let that massive number sink in for a second. When astronomers say a star is, say, 10 light years away, what they actually mean is it's 10 times 6 trillion miles away. The scale is so vast, our human brains almost glitch just trying to comprehend it. But honestly, this is the ruler required just to make sense of our cosmos.
Section 3, galaxies to superclusters. Let's zoom out to the largest structures. So the universe isn't just a random, messy soup of stars. Just like a house sits in a neighborhood, which sits in a city, which sits in a state, space has its own highly organized structural hierarchy. Let's climb this cosmic ladder together. Step 1, we start with galaxies. These are massive islands of stars, gas, and dust, all held together by gravity. Then, gravity pulls those galaxies together into step 2, galaxy clusters. On an even more massive scale, those clusters group together into step 3, superclusters. And finally, all those superclusters make up step 4, the observable universe. That's the entire bubble of space we can currently detect from Earth. And inside that observable universe, how many galaxies do we estimate there are? 2 trillion. 2 trillion. And I want to be incredibly clear here. That is not 2 trillion stars. That is 2 trillion entire galaxies. 2 million millions. The sheer weight of that number is just absolutely staggering. And this brilliantly illustrates the true scale we're dealing with today. Because each one of those 2 trillion galaxies contains millions or even billions of stars. Just try to multiply 2 trillion by a billion. It completely challenges the very limits of human imagination to consider how many individual stars, solar systems, and potential planets exist out there in the dark. It is quite literally an infinite scale.
Up next is Section 4, our local cosmic neighborhood. Where exactly do we fit in?
So with all of that mind-numbing vastness out there, where do our lives take place? Let's zoom rapidly back into our specific address in the cosmos. We live in a collection of galaxies known as the local group. It's a cosmic neighborhood of more than 50 galaxies, which includes our very own home, the Milky Way. Right next door to us is Andromeda. That's our nearest large neighbor galaxy, and you can actually see it from Earth with a decent telescope. But even looking out from our local neighborhood, we see incredible density. The Hubble Space Telescope once stared at a tiny, seemingly totally empty patch of dark sky and created the Hubble Deep Field image. That tiny patch alone revealed thousands of distant galaxies. It's a really stark reminder of how crowded space actually is. Okay, let's do a rapid-fire recap of the cosmic scale we've explored so far today. 1. A light year is the distance light travels in a year, about 6 trillion miles. 2. There are over 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. 3. A galaxy cluster is a massive grouping of galaxies held together by gravity. 4. The closest large galaxy to the Milky Way is Andromeda. And 5. The universe is expanding because the actual fabric of space itself is stretching. Finally, Section 5, Education, Morality, and Peace. Why does all this cosmic scale actually matter for you? We've spent some time talking about the what and the how of the universe. But now, the curriculum pivots to the why, bridging the vastness of the universe with the intimacy of our everyday lives. The philosophy of Heroes Mart Academy poses a deeply personal, really reflective question. What is the point of being smart and educated if we continue making bad choices that hurt? You can know all the facts about superclusters and light years, but the curriculum asks, without character, what is it all for? The curriculum sets up a contrast between 2 different paths here. On one side, you have education without morality. The source argues that without a moral compass, raw intelligence often just leads to bad choices, selfishness, and ultimately personal hurt. But on the flip side, the curriculum presents biblical morality intertwined with education. The argument is that this combination creates a godly learner equipped with true wisdom. From this perspective, scientific knowledge of the cosmos is breathtaking, absolutely, but it's fundamentally incomplete without a moral framework to guide human actions right here on Earth. To really anchor this idea, the curriculum points to Romans chapter 8, verses 6 through 7. This speaks directly to finding peace of mind by keeping the mind spiritual. The core philosophy presented here is that engaging with the incredible science of our world is wonderful, but doing it with an eye toward the specific biblical morality is what actually brings profound, lasting internal peace. According to the source, this synthesis, bringing those 2 things together, is the experience of true education. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. The next time you step outside at night and you look up at a vast universe containing over 2 trillion galaxies, ask yourself, how will you use your education right here on this tiny, precious blue planet to make choices that bring true peace? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep looking up, keep learning, and I will see you next time.